All right, guys, look here. We're live. We're live, but nobody's in yet. So let me just talk to myself. Actually, I think one person's in the live now. Talking to myself until more people come and you guys start asking me questions. But I wanted to make a live. Let me move my desk real quick. See if I get good lighting here. Hold on one second. I think this is good. Yeah, it's good enough lighting. So I don't want to show my kitchen behind there. But I haven't done a live in a long time, guys. It's been a while. Man, maybe I'm gonna stop shaking the computer a little bit. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Do I need to put my headphones on? What's up? ¿Qué más pues? Bien okay. Hey Dave, what's up? Can you guys hear me? Let me know real quick. Yes, can you hear me? Is it excellent or do I need to put headphones on? Because I got these things to put on to hear better. Loud and clear. See, great, because I don't like wearing headphones that much. Slight echo. But just a slight, not too much. I'm in an empty room here. This is my office right here. But actually, my girlfriend uses it more than I do when she comes here to work. Let's see. So, one second. I used to use this other platform for my lives that was I forget the name of it, and it was different. I haven't used the YouTube platform in a long time, so I'm trying to get used to it again. But I'm gonna read through y'all's comments. Unfortunately, on this platform, I can't invite anybody on to talk. But I thought, you know what? Let me just go on the YouTube platform, see what they've done with what kind of improvements, and also answer some questions. So I want to go through y'all's questions, and if you absolutely have a question, you have to have answered. And I'm not reading it, and I'm not answering it. Just know when you super chat, it highlights it, and I'll see it right away. If I don't see it because you don't super chat, don't get angry at me. But I want to try to answer as many questions as possible. Let me go through the chat real quick. All right, so what's up? Hey, long time. It's been a long time. I know I've been busy in Mexico filming for that docu series, whatever it's called. Takes up a lot of my time, man. It's fun. It's a good experience. I'm having a good time, but it's draining at the same time. And I haven't had a job where other people told me what to do since I was probably 24. Okay, so that's many years ago. I've been my own boss for many years. Even with this YouTube channel, I'm my own boss. I can say when I want to work, when I don't want to work, when I rest, when I want to go out and film, when I don't want to film. So it's a lot to get used to. And plus, living over there, what the fuck? Living over there in Mexico, I'm living in. They rented houses, so we're sharing a house, like me with two other guys in the crew, and you don't have your privacy. And plus, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and you have to share a car, so you have to ask like permission. Like, what, can I? Hey, you're not using the car. Can I use the car? It's all living amongst different people, and they're cool people, but at the same time, man, I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it, man. It's tough. All right, so let me go through some questions real quick. Loud and clear. Excellent. Here, perfect. Excellent. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going through this. I'm scrolling through. Your sound is coming through fine. Perfect. Happy holidays. Now, too oversaturated with foreigners. Is Medellin too oversaturated with foreigners? Um, I'm seeing more foreigners in places where I wouldn't see as many, I guess. But I hardly go to Poblado, whatever how you pronounce it. I hardly ever go to that area, and that's like what they always call Gringolandia. And since 2000, I arrived in 2016, and since 2016, there's been a lot of foreigners. When you want to go see foreigners, you go there. But I haven't been there since I've been back. But the last time I was there, yeah, it was pretty crowded with foreigners, and things have changed a lot. Like I made a video about this. Parque Lleras before 2016, 15. Actually, when I arrived in 2016, Parque Lleras wasn't like it is now. There, you would go and you would see some girls making a living doing that kind of stuff. Maybe one or two, maybe four. Now I've heard that it's many. Actually, the last time I walked by and it was in the daytime, because they blocked off Parque Jez. They put like a barrier with the police officers, everything to kind of protect that area. But on the outside of the barrier, man, it's a lot of people working their trade, if you know what I mean. And I think it's because a lot of foreigners go there and they think the Parque Jettis is the red light district, which is not. Now it's becoming that way, but it never was. And those people who do that kind of trade see an opportunity and they go there to make money. So yeah, it's becoming packed in that area. I'm pretty sure other parts of Poblado, not as much, but if you don't want to be around foreigners, go live somewhere else. Like go live in Belen or other neighborhoods around Medellin. But if you want to be around foreigners, go to Poblado. All right, let me see. And I'm doing a live today, and actually kind of questioning myself because I was actually too tired to go out today to film. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do a live and talk to you guys. But honestly, doing a live is pretty exhausting too mentally. So I have to think about these questions. All right, so let's see. Your sound is coming through. What do I think about the recent deaths in Colombia? Sir Brian's asking. Yeah, it's there has been an increase of crimes and deaths in Colombia, and actually made it my one of my most recent videos that got a lot of traction. Man, I was surprised by that. That got so much traction because other YouTubers already made videos about it, right? And I thought, you know what, should I make a video about it? Because it's already been talked about so much. But I thought nobody's really talked about. I guess I can put my own point of view, like just talk about it myself and my own perspective, and it got a lot of traction. You guys watched it, so if you haven't watched it, watch it. But the deaths here in Medellin, man, it has increased. It's always happened, but it's happening more. And I think it's because two reasons. One, more people are coming to Medellin. I mean, the only reason why the floodgates stopped is because of the pandemic. Because it was since 2015 and a little bit before, the increase of foreigners coming to Medellin was rising because YouTubers started making content back in that time. I think the first YouTubers that are making like really good content and getting traction was around 2015, and then a lot of people were coming, and then pandemic hit, and boom, the doors were shut, and it was totally empty. Hardly any foreigners were here, and then pandemic ended. People started coming back, and now it's 2023 going 2024, and it's starting to rise again. So if nothing drastic happens, it's going to keep rising. It's going up on an uptrend. So more foreigners are coming. A lot of these foreigners, because it's so cheap to fly from the United States, like to get a plane ticket from Miami or New York is super cheap. There's no really barrier of entry, right, financially. So they're coming, and unfortunately, a lot of these people haven't traveled that much. They haven't had experience in other countries, like third world countries or dangerous areas. They go from going to Cozumel, going on cruises, to come to Medellin, and Medellin is not a playground, right? So more foreigners coming, and then there's always been criminals. And when criminals see something that's working, when they see a crime that's easy and makes a lot of money. I actually recently saw the video of that German dude that got kidnapped by two girls. Like the two girls invited him over to eat lunch at their place, right? Any other place in the world, you're a tourist, you're traveling around, you meet a local girl, and they're like, hey, we're having a little get together in our house, come over. You wouldn't think twice about it. You're like, yeah, it's cool. The locals are so nice. But here in Medellin, you can't do that. You don't fall for that. I said in my video, even locals are suspicious of people, right? Of strangers, stranger danger. So you don't fall for that. So a lot of people who don't understand that are coming here. Criminals are seeing that that's easy money because they took like $15,000 from that dude. I mean, and this happened all the time. So copycat crimes will happen. It'll just keep on going bigger and bigger. The only way to stop it, if you guys understand what to look out for, that's really the only way to stop it. I'm seeing comments on the video that I made about the Colombian government needs to step in. The Colombian police needs to get involved and take this serious and protect Americans. But the thing is, I don't think they're not going to do that. I mean, not anytime soon, especially not underneath this government. You know, unfortunately, like this government in Colombia, they're the ones that let a lot of criminals out of prison. Okay, so don't hold your breath that the Colombian governments or police are going to do anything about it. I mean, they're going to try to help out as much as they can, but there's so much crime anyways that to deal with, right? So what you have to do, and what most Colombians understand, is you have to take responsibility of yourself. You got to, what's the word? No dar papaya, okay? You don't know that papaya means don't give them an opportunity to steal from you. And that's a Colombian expression that Colombians use. So it's not about victim blaming. It's about that's just what it is, man. That's life. You know, you just got to deal with it. So, all right, we got super chats, man, from the Fatin Ninth State. Thank you so much. Gosh, I kind of missed the other program I was using. I could actually show on the bottom of the screen who's super chatting. But I see it here. Thank you so much for that $2. Raymond Kennedy, thank you so much. Looks like your first super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And let me see. All right. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the deaths, man. It's going to, like I said in the video, I think it's going to keep getting worse because the floodgates are opening. People are coming into Colombia because it is a great place. I love Medellin. People wonder, why are you there? Why are you living in Medellin still if it's so dangerous? Because I love it. I love the city. I love the culture. I love the people. I love the food. If that amazes you guys. And I know how to move around, even though I've been robbed before. I was robbed by gunpoint, and I put my blame on myself. I mean, yeah, I choose to live in this city. It is a dangerous city, but it's my choice, right? And when I got robbed, I was on a brand new motorcycle, the most stolen, most robbed motorcycle in the country at the time, and I chose to buy it. You know, it was like just arrived to Colombia, and I'm riding around. I put my blinker on. At that moment, it was my fault. It was a lot to do with my fault. Before I got robbed, I was here in Colombia for 4 years. Nothing ever happened to me because I know how to move by walking, by bicycle, by metro, by taxi. But on a motorcycle, I never rode a motorcycle before. So I was like a newbie, you know, all nervous and scared and stuff. And bad guys look for victims, look for easy targets, and I was the easy target on that motorcycle. All right, let me see. All right, so now I'm gonna go through these questions again and see what I can find. Hold on. The next time I'm going to do the other platform, I think. We'll see. Let's carry on with this YouTube platform, see how it is. Shout out from Lubbock, Texas. Hey, man. Lubbock, that's a far. I used to have to make the drive out there sometimes from Houston. That's a far drive. What's up from the Houston, Texas? What's up, George? Have I ever been to Miraflores and Lima, Peru? I have, and I actually have a video on my channel. The time when I couldn't come back into Colombia because I didn't have the yellow fever vaccine, which I never even knew I needed. And that just shows you guys, you have to find out yourself. Don't depend on anybody to send you a notice on what you need to get into a country. You have to call and ask, okay? So I couldn't fly direct in Colombia, so I took a trip to Lima, Peru, spent the night there, and the next day came to Colombia. So when I arrived that day, I just went and I checked out Miraflores. It was actually quite nice, and I went to a nice restaurant to eat. I'm not sure if I would live there, but I wouldn't mind visiting. And I've been to other parts of Peru. I've been to Cusco, where I travel around. I went to the what's it called? What's that city up there? That Machu Picchu. I went to Machu Picchu, and all the other tourist stuff like the Montaña de Siete Colores. You know, it's beautiful. Country's amazing. People are amazing over there in Peru. Super nice people. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, Black Circle is saying a YouTuber got drugged and robbed for all of his savings, and he's e-begging people to fund and continue his travels instead of going home. Yeah, it's sad, man. I mean, who knows? He might not be close to his family or friends or whatever. I'm not sure. Maybe he wants to keep on traveling. Maybe he should go home. If that's the situation where he's totally out of money and he made that mistake, you know, maybe he's not ready to travel in certain parts of the world. So maybe he should go home and get a job and work or get a job online, you know, to build up that money. But if his fans like his content and they want to help him and they want him to continue traveling, then there's nothing wrong with it, I guess, to get help from his followers. Hi man, have you ever checked out Daque, Buenaventura, Borrero? No, never seen these areas. Vida Patria is saying it's regular looking folks luring their victims now. 100, well, one of the main crimes, one of the main ways that they're doing this crimes on foreigners, because most foreigners are guys. I'm sorry, most victims are men. They're coming here looking for certain things. That's why in my video I put a pinned comment. This advice mostly applies for guys coming here looking for to get with girls, and they go on Tinder and dating apps, and then they fall for this stuff. Colombia is known for beautiful women, and most of the crimes done to foreigners that are usually mostly men is a honeypot crime where they have a beautiful girl, or not even that attractive girl, but to each their own. Beauty's the eye of the beholder. Lure them in, and then next thing you know, you got 5 guys on top of you trying to take all the money that you have. Let's see. CBL Daddy saying flights aren't cheap anymore. I used to pay $500. Now it's $1,000 round trip from San Diego, Tijuana. I'm here now, going back in January. $500 from Tijuana or San Diego. That's super cheap. Even $1,000. I mean, I flew from that area. I'm over. That's where we're filming right now, and I didn't pay because the production paid. But it's a long flight, So that's still pretty cheap, man. All right, we got super chats in here. Let's see who. Fantasy Ground Academy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Happy holidays, David. Muy bacano. Thank you. Happy holidays. I'm recovering. I'm tired because I spent Christmas with my girlfriend's family, and here in Colombia, they do Christmas. It's not like in the States, man, where you're drinking hot chocolate in your pajamas in the morning. No, it's the 24th, and they party all night until the morning hours. Dancing, and it's not like it's a party amongst family, just uncles, aunts, cousins are all dancing together, salsa. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But I'm exhausted. Yeah. Ray Hebrew, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. This super chat is in regard to my last question I had. Thanks for the content and new subscriber. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And let's see if anybody else sent a super chat. One second. Nothing yet. Okay, so let me go back to the comments, see if I can see any questions amongst them all. We got 121 people, 122 people here, and 35 likes, guys. So let's like this this live, whatever it's called. And also the like button, man. One of the best ways to support the channel is on every video, just hit the like button, make a comment, even if it's just a "What's up, Dave?" Because that's how the algorithm works in this YouTube thing. Pushes. So we've seen the likes going up. 44. We got 121. Let's go, guys. 126 people. Let's get the likes up. Por favor. Y muchas gracias. All right, I'm gonna pick questions randomly because there's so many here. Can you find a good apartment for around $500 in Laureles? I love that neighborhood. I've talked about this before. It's super hard as a foreigner to get an apartment with the agency. Either you can try, but you need a co-signer. This most time has to be Colombian, has makes twice the amount of pay that the rent is, and they're basically signing over a property and all that kind of stuff. So they really got to trust you, man, to be a co-signer. And you can do that, or you go directly with the owner. Maybe you can find something like that somewhere, or you just go on Airbnb. So directly with the owner, Laureles, I'm paying right now. I'm not in Laureles, but I'm near. Let me see. I'm paying $325, and I'm in Strato 4, I believe, and Laureles is Strato 5. So directly with the owner, maybe around $500. But with Airbnb, it's probably gonna be around $600, $700, the cheapest. And that's gonna be like a studio apartment. So it's possible. You just gotta look, man. Let's see. Never tell anyone where you live when you travel, especially when you're traveling alone. Yeah, it's a good common sense thing to do, but a lot of people don't. I always said this, even when I was younger, people will leave their country and they leave their common sense back at home. I'm on vacation, it's like, oh, you taking a risk, man. All right, so 134 people, 57 likes, guys. Let's get those likes up to 134, please. All right, let me go through these questions. Just being an American is papaya when it comes to kidnapping. Not just being American, just being a foreigner, and especially if you're a foreigner that stands out. But I have friends who are Colombians who are blonde hair and colored eyes. So the best thing you can do is try to dress like a local. And if you happen to be a type of foreigner that doesn't matter, you're gonna stand out no matter what. Just still try to dress like a local. Don't stick out too much and don't flaunt your stuff. Don't wear chains. Don't wear nice watches. And don't take out your credit card, debit cards. But that's just street crime where they pull up and steal from you. When you're talking to people like for dating and stuff, watch out for girls who are being really pushy about coming over. Even guys. Actually, I was talking to my friend, a Colombian friend who she owns a co-working spot. Her and her friends, and she said there's this one guy from Mexico, Spanish speaker. He was in the gay scene on Grinder, so the app Grinder, and he actually met Colombian guys online, invited him back to the place he was staying because it was like this one co-living spot that's in Laureles. Got scoped, got drugged, and got robbed, everything. And then he did it again. It happened to him twice. The same guy, 2 times. So yeah. Jesus. And there's certain things that Colombians just in general know as common sense, but I think foreigners don't know as common sense because it doesn't apply in their home country. All right, so let me see. Joe Michael's asking, do I feel less safe? No, I feel totally fine. Actually, when I'm out filming in the streets, I'm aware. I'm looking around sometimes. I'm looking at my surroundings. That's what I do all the time. I do it more because I have my camera out when I'm filming. So you guys see me on the camera, like, dang, this dude's super paranoid. No, it's because I have my camera out, and if a guy on a motorcycle comes by and sees it, he'll just turn around and come and take it with a gun or a knife, whatever. So I'm always watching my surroundings. But when I'm not filming, I'm still aware of my surroundings, but I'm not like, I'm not like that. But I'm always I'm not. I know in the States, in other countries, people walk in the streets, looking at their cell phone, chatting away, not even paying attention where they're going. Yeah, you can't do that here. So, do I feel less safe? No, I don't feel less safe. I feel totally fine. I feel normal. Um, what the heck? That's weird. The YouTube wanted to put an ad while I was on live, so I told him to skip it. Man, I'm talking. All right, so do I feel less safe? No, no, I feel totally fine. I feel great. I love Medellin. I love Colombia. After spending 6 weeks in Mexico, um, every time when I came back, I was so happy. That's why the thing was this time or the last time I was here. Yeah, last time I was here, I bought this bracelet with the Mexican colors. I'm not the Colombian colors. Why? Because it just came to my realization. The first time I went to Mexico, the first 6 weeks was very hard, very hard. And when I came back, I just realized how much I love this country here. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this bracelet. I never wear bracelets. So on the filming, I'm not sure if the cameraman or the director showed this. He probably like filmed without showing this, but I was wearing it. So in the series, if he decides to show my wrist, it's gonna come out representing Colombia. All right, let's see. Freddie Martinez is asking. Look, it might be a cousin of mine. Freddie Martinez is asking, is it true Bejo is now safe? I wonder who told you that. I mean, there's places that are safer than other places, right? And Bayo is not one of them. Bayo is known to be pretty dangerous. Now, if you know people there, and not people that you just met online on a site or whatever. You barely know. I'm talking about people you know and you trust, and you go with them. Then you're gonna be safe. You're gonna be safer. But if you don't know anybody, I mean, I go to Bejo. Like when I used to do my walking tours, I'm not doing them anymore. But the last stop that I would do on the walking tour around the city was Bejo. Because I love Bejo. I love the main park with the church. To me, it's one of the prettiest main parks in the valley here. So, but would I live in Bejo if I knew somebody? Yeah. I don't know anybody really close in Bejo. So that I've heard of one guy who was there. He was an obvious foreigner. I think he was flaunting his stuff too much, and he got targeted, and people broke into his apartment, took everything. So it's all about knowing, especially in those areas. You got to know people. Fantasy Ground Academy. Thanks so much for. Did I already go through that? Super chat. Oh, I already said thank you to that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got another one down here. Okay, Oscar goes places. $5. Thanks so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Hi, Dave. What do you think about Barranquilla? Visiting there next month. Thinking about moving there eventually. Well, first of all, go visit it and spend some time there until like you move, right? Or move and spend a few months there, whatever. But don't pick up and just decide to go somewhere that you don't know. That's Medellin too. But what do I think? I liked Barranquilla. I like the people. The people are super nice. The food's amazing. It has a really big Lebanese community there in Barranquilla. Some of the best Arabic food I've eaten or Lebanese food I've eaten in a long time. Um, Not a lot of people in the streets, especially during the daytime, because it gets really hot and humid. Actually, is it humid? There was good breeze coming off the ocean in some parts of the city, but it was still pretty hot. So most people stayed indoors in AC, and then it came out at nighttime. So that's something I didn't like because I like going out in the city at daytime when not at nighttime, and I like seeing people in the streets. But would I go back? Yeah, I would go back. Would I live there? I'm not sure, but it's a lot cheaper too than Medellin. A lot cheaper. So again, thank you so much for the $5, and I guess Oscar, go check it out for yourself. And all my tips on safety and stuff, it applies there as well. Applies a lot of places in Colombia. Let me see. Any plans to go back to Brazil? I want to go back to Brazil. I actually talk about it quite often with my girlfriend that I miss my time that I spent in Curitiba. I didn't film very much while I was in Curitiba. I filmed a little bit, but I spent a month and a half there, and basically we got 163 people sending for likes, guys. Get the likes up. So I got an Airbnb in Curitiba right next to one of the main malls that had a Smart Fit, had a gym, and basically I lived a good life, man. I would wake up in the morning, make my pot of coffees. I got back to drinking coffee in Brazil. The Brazilian coffee is great. Make a pot of coffee, make some eggs, nice, lot of protein in the morning, and relax. And then around 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, go to the gym, work out, and then go to the grocery store or stock with meat. But usually go to the grocery store. I made really good friends with a butcher and buy a bunch of amazing Brazilian meat, take it home, grill it up, eat a crap ton of meat for lunch, and then go around the city, like go outside, walk around, go people watch, come back to my apartment. At the grocery store too, they had these bags of popcorn, like all kinds of flavors. Get me one of those bags of popcorn with a Coke Zero and watch Netflix. And that was pretty much my life in Brazil. I was making videos, but I was mostly making videos on topics of Medellin at the time while I was in Curitiba, which I kind of regret. I wish I would have made more videos about Curitiba. But I would go, actually, no, in between midday, I would go to the mall, take a notepad, and try to write down topics of the video, and then go back and film it, and then edit, and then spend the night watching Netflix and popcorn. It was a great life, and I got super strong. That's where I was doing. I think I got to the point where I was doing 3 sets of 10 at like 275 on bench because I was eating a crap ton of meat, a lot of protein, and just working out, man. It's living an easy life. It was good times. Mm. But if I would go back, I would go back and film more and make more content of the city and of Brazilian culture because I love Brazil. It's a great place. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of chaos. Not as much chaos as here in Medellin, but there's still people in the streets. Okay, let's see. If you guys have questions I'm not seeing and you want me to make sure you see them, super chat. That's the best way for me to see it. Let's get the likes up, guys. 154 people, 85 likes, please. And on every video I send out, just get custom to like. All right. Great question, Frigid Guy. Is every girl out there just a dirt ball? No, no. This is one of the main reasons why I started my YouTube channel, because during the pandemic, a lot of YouTubers were coming to Colombia. Like, people were starting to make YouTube videos about Colombia back in 2016, whatever. And then more people started coming. But these people, they came to Colombia with the idea of making a YouTube channel, right? And at the time, I already spent 4 years in Colombia living here. I wasn't even thinking about becoming a YouTuber. I was selling insurance, right? And I was watching these guys on YouTube, and one guy did a live, and they got this question asked, hey, what about the girls? And his response was, nah, don't even waste your time with the females here. All they want is your money. That you can't trust them. And I heard that, and I'm like, what the heck? That's not true. That's stupid. So one of my first videos, I believe it was one of my first videos, was how to meet a good girl, how to find a good girl, good Colombian girl, because there's so many of them. The problem is, most of the guys that come here who want to find a good girl, they look in the wrong places, and unfortunately, Tinder back in the day there's still good girls on Tinder, but a lot of people who want to do crimes against you guys are on Tinder. And they either want you to pay or they want to take, through bad ways, right? So, and back when I met my girlfriend back in 2017, so I met her a year after I've been here, she didn't even know what Tinder was. She didn't even have an Instagram, So that's not probably the case now, but to meet a good girl, you got to get out. You got to get out there and mingle and make friends, and not just friends with females, but friends with any kind of people. And then those people start inviting you, and you start networking, and then that's how you meet normal good girls. And then it comes, the problem is, are you guys even compatible? Because a person could be a good person, but not compatible for you, So it's what it is, man. So no, not all girls are dirtbags, just the ones who are criminals. Let's see. Oh, Ordy's saying, oh, poor Ordy, I'm sorry. So you're saying you don't answer questions, so don't ask for likes. Bro, you come on my side of the screen and try to read all these questions, right? And answer all of them. Come on, let's see you, Ordy. Come on now. I'm answering as many questions as I can. Let's not cry about it. All right, so we got CBL Daddy. Thank you so much, man, for the super chat. $2. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, dude. Only way to meet a girl is to live in Colombia. The only way to meet a good girl is to live in Colombia. Yeah, that helps a lot. It does. But you could be coming back and forth, right? You could be coming here and visiting and stuff. And every time you come, you get involved in groups, you get involved in hobbies, and then you make friends, you make connections. So when you come back, you get back with those connections. Hey, what's going on? And then they tell you, oh, we're all getting together. Come on, let's go. And then you just start. You may not be able to come here and live for months. You might come for a couple of weeks, but every time you come, you just get involved in certain things. So each time you come back, you meet more people and you start growing your sphere of influence, and then you happen to meet that girl. When I met my girlfriend, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend. I didn't want a girlfriend. When we started talking, I even told her, I said, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a relationship, and it's stupid, right? That expression is when you're least looking, that's when you find it. And when I always heard that back in the day, I was like, that's so dumb. But it's actually it's pretty true. It has some truth to it, especially if you're super desperate to meet someone and have a girlfriend. People see that on you, that desperation, they kind of like push back. But if you're just living your life and just doing what you want to do, then it just happens. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? You're still living your life, and you're making experiences, you're having a good time, right? So it's hard to take in, when you're like wanting to be in a relationship, you want to meet somebody, but trust me, all right. I look young, but I have some years behind me. So, all right. Let me see. We got a super chat here. Thank you so much. The Fati Ninth State. Are most expats trolling SOBs to you? Son of a bees to you? Um, I don't really mingle with many expats. I mean, the ones who I've met were cool, but I honestly don't really mingle with that many people in general. I'm really picky about, not picky. I like to I keep to myself quite a bit. I like my own space. I do like to hang out with people. I do like going out, but not that much, you know. So, but the people I've met who are expats they're fine. But then you go to I haven't been to Jeddah. Maybe once I try to buy that new camera that I wanted to do night filming with better quality at night, but it was all sold out, man. It's like everybody was freaking buying that camera. So I'm waiting until January when I go back to Mexico in February to cross the border and try to find it. Because buying it through Amazon here, there's a big tax, like $300 or $400 extra tax just to get it over here. But once I have that camera, I might go to Parque Jeddah just to see the difference, and kind of give my own commentary of what's going on and what kind of foreigners are over there. All right, we got another super chat. Alex, thank you so much, bro. $5 or €5. I appreciate it. How do people handle the situation with the increasing number of refugees from Venezuela in Colombia, Medellin? Mm, I'm not sure if it's increasing right now because it was increasing a couple years ago. Like it was a lot of people were coming in. The influx was huge in the beginning. I think again, I'm not an expert, but in my opinion, what I've seen with my own eyes, I think it's leveled out. So the people who've come over from Venezuela, they've established themselves here, and there's a lot of good people from Venezuela here. A lot of friends who got good careers. They're making it a life here in Colombia, right? They're giving back to society. But at the same time, in every country, there's the bad element. So a lot of the bad element also came here. The bad people that do bad things came to Colombia, and that could be a reason for the increase of crime as well because there's bad Colombian people. There's Colombians who do bad things, also Venezuelans that came over here do bad things, and they both do copycat crime. So one of the videos I've seen on a YouTuber, Obi-Lan, I believe it was, he trapped a girl that was trying to scope him, and hearing the accent, the girl's from Venezuela. It was what it was. So yeah, it's the influx. I think it's leveled out. There's actually a new influx of immigrants coming, but they're from Africa, and that's the reason for Francia, the vice president here in Colombia. She did a trip to Africa and made an agreement between some African countries and Colombia, uh, allowing them free entry with no visa. So now I'm not sure if it's still happening, but if you look on TikTok, just search El Dorado Airport. There's thousands or hundreds, I'm not sure, hundreds or thousands of African refugees sleeping in the international terminal of the airport in Bogota. They're just camping out there like for up to 7 days. And what's happening is now Colombia is becoming the first stop for the trek to United States. That whole passing the Darien Gap, that kind of stuff. So but they may also try to make life here. Who knows? But I don't know. I don't know. I'm an immigrant as well. I'm living here as an immigrant. So yeah, not a refugee though. Not a refugee. Okay. How old am I? I'm going to be 41 in January, and January 7th is my birthday. Okay, I'm going through the questions. Who was the guy that complained? Was it Obi? I don't remember, but I'm going through these questions. I'm trying to look to see if I see anything. There's so many of them. 168 people and 106 likes. Let's get the likes up, guys. All right. All right. So that One Autumn was asking, Uruguay seems more stable and progressive of all South America. I think yeah, Uruguay is one of the more safer countries in South America, but it's also more expensive, and there's also a lot less people. I've never been, but I've heard good things. You know, that might be a good first stop for somebody who's never been to South America. You know, and kind of worried about stuff. Um, Chile as well, but actually, two guys on the crew for the film, they're both from Chile, and they told me that crime has increased a lot because of people from Venezuela coming up there and doing all kinds of crimes. Like they're actually seeing for the first time ever scopolamina, people being scoped in Chile. You know, getting people getting kidnapped, being ransomed for money, and this has never happened in Chile before. So that influx of people from Venezuela um, increased the crime there as well. So you know, that's from what they said. You know, I've never been to Chile as well. One day I'll go. Oh, look, Rita is asking thoughts on Chile. Just happened to talk about it. I've never been, so I don't know, but I would like to go. I mean, it looks like an amazing country, very diverse with the environment. Like, especially, I may go down there for skiing. So I used to love to ski back in the day, and they have my friends I met in the crew. They told me they have really nice ski resorts. All right, Melvin, Merry Christmas, man, or Merry New Year's. Thank you so much, bro. Let's see. Vanessa Martinez, you're giving a beautiful light to Colombia. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa, for saying that because in the comment section, when I give warnings to people, like I try to help teach people what to look out for, I get a lot of people in the comments saying, why are you always talking bad about Colombia? If you hate Colombia so much and you hate whatever, why are you even living there? And I think to myself, ah, I don't even answer those comments, man. I don't even reply to those comments. That's like whatever, guys. You know, if you don't have the comprehensive skills to understand what I'm trying to say, it's not my fault. But yeah, Vanessa, I try to give a good light, and also I try to help people stay safe. I don't like seeing people coming out here and not making it back home. Let's see. Hold on. If you want me to see your questions, super chat is the best way. But I'm just going right through here. Let's see. Ah, great question. Ramsey 007 is asking if you want to go to Colombia, but avoid the tourists. Is Bucaramanga a good city to visit? I went to Bucaramanga. I really liked it. I'm not sure. This was years ago, before the pandemic. I went and I liked it. I didn't see very many tourists, but who knows? It might be on the radar now. It might be more tourists or foreigners there. And there's definitely like tourists from Colombia because that's known as Bucaramanga, the area around Bucaramanga is known as like the adventure area. So a lot of people go there for rafting, for cave diving, and all that kind of stuff. Um, but go. I love the city of the really nice parks, you know, really beautiful parks. Okay, best way to integrate into Colombian society for a foreigner. Number one, learn the language. Number two, start learning the culture. Learn what the culture is like, the differences and the intricacies of the culture. Make friends, like get involved in groups and hobbies. Follow your hobbies, and be open to change your mindset and change the way you see and understand things. You know, because when you first come, it's gonna be frustrating. Most people will be frustrated because hey, they don't do it that way where I'm from, or that's not how we do it from in my country. Yeah, you gotta get past that and just accept that that's how it's done here. Things that's how people are here, and just don't let it bother you too much. And then if you're here long enough, you'll find yourself doing the same things that used to bother you. You know, like me, I find I'm doing the same things that used to bother me. I don't think I would do very well in the States anymore because, like for example, in here in Colombia, it's I'm not sure all Colombia, but here in Antioquia, especially, people walk really slow and they don't care about other people behind them. They won't move. They won't give way. And if you're walking this way and they're walking this way, they'll walk right through you. They won't even move to the side. And I find myself doing that as well. They'll bump into you and without saying sorry. So just imagine that happening in New York. I'll probably get a lot of fights over there for bumping into people or walking too slow, whatever it is. Let me see. All right, so we got some super chats here. Let me get to them real quick. Razor Rays, what's up, man? Salute. Thanks, bro. Beer. I was thinking about popping a beer on this live, but I was like, you know what? I'll drink my tea. All right. Southpaw right hook. Nice, man. $5. Thank you so much, bro. Crime is up everywhere. Organized crime has entered to targeted foreigners in Cartagena. Even the edges of tourist zones are bad. Be careful. Even inside tourist zones in Cartagena are bad. I mean, I go and nothing happened. Nothing's happened to me so far, but I think when they see this is in Cartagena, especially when they see a foreigner, because when I went last time with my girlfriend, I can pass as a Colombian, right? And I dress like locals. But I was walking and there was an obvious foreigner that was dressed like an obvious foreigner. And dude, those guys who are selling stuff, like, hassling, selling, so bothering. They're so bothersome. Man, I literally ran towards that guy. He was like, Jesus, man, it's horrible. All right. And I heard another. Let me get to the super chat. Nate in your state, thank you so much, bro. $5. Salute. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. I really do. Let me see. I heard another person. It was on the on the Caracol, the Instagram. I follow the Instagram Caracol, and they talked about how I think this Asian girl. I'm not sure where she's from, but she wasn't from the States. She was from an Asian country. Came to Cartagena, and she took one of those horse riding things that go around the city, right? And she rode it. And all she had was a card, and the guy didn't have a card reader. Hold on, skip this ads. The guy didn't have a card reader, right? That's what he said. But he said, "Don't worry, I have a friend that has a card reader." And he took her on the horse carriage to the friend, and the friend took the girl's card, swiped it, said it didn't work. Do you have another card? Swipe the next card, said it didn't work. Do you have another card? Swipe the next card, swipe the next card. In each card, the person charged, I think it was like 6 million pesos, but in total, took around $5,500 from that girl, from swiping each card and just running it and taking and swiping the money and giving back saying it didn't work. Bro, it's crazy for a horse ride, $5,000. It's getting bad with the scams here. I'm sorry to say. And that by me reading that card, because in Mexico, I've been using my card a lot to pay for things because Mexico has become that way. They accept card everywhere now. It used to be more of a cash society, and now it's more of a card society. So I got used to doing it. So I came back here and I'm using my card. Now reading that article, I'm like, well, maybe I'll go back to using cash because that's crazy, In one of your videos, you mentioned you're from Texas, represent as well. Yeah, man, I'm from Texas, Houston, Texas, born and raised, and my family's been in Texas since Texas was territory of Spain. I mean, we got so if you can't get truer Texan than that unless you're like indigenous, Comanche or whatever, or Apache. All right. Okay, so I saw something. So it looks like Ryan T knows me pretty well. The only reason David is still in Medellin is because he has a girlfriend. That is not true, man. I came here to Medellin, and that's actually quite funny because even Colombians, when they meet me for the first time and they ask me, where I'm from, I tell them I'm from Texas, and then how long you've been here, and I tell them how long, and I say, oh, did you come for a girl? They even ask me that. They even assume that I came for a girl, right? Because most guys do. No, I came by myself because I wanted to know the city. I didn't. The only reason why I came to Medellin is I had two friends, an older couple who are from Medellin, Colombia, and the wife. I mean, they're old, they're like in their 60s. I've met them at church, and the wife would always post pictures of Medellin. and it was beautiful. Like the pictures of the Christmas lights or the pictures of the all the trees and the flowers and stuff and the mountains, the green mountains. And at the time, I turned my business to virtual. I changed my cell phone to a virtual internet phone when I was selling insurance. I said, you know what? I want to go try this in a different country. I wanted to leave the United States for many years. I didn't never really felt like I belonged in the States, with the culture and everything. And at the time, I was seeing those pictures, and I never went to Colombia. I went to many countries before, but Colombia I'd never been. I'd never been to Medellin, and that was basically all I knew about Medellin. And I came, I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the culture. I loved the food. I loved the mountains. I loved the weather is beautiful. And after being here for 6 to 7 months, that's when I met my girlfriend. Um, but again, every 5 years, I always like to make a change in my life. And thank goodness, good thing I got the TV thing, because I was itching. I was thinking like, you know what, maybe I should make a change. But if I'm still with my girlfriend at the time when I make the change, I'll probably take her with me. If I'm not with her, we break up, then I'll just go on my own, But I'm here because I love this country. That's the main reason. Thanks for the comment, bro. Let's see. I speak. Hold for now. Seems situation getting worse for Robert Drug. So I speak Spanish fluent, and I could pass for Latin, but I decided to put Colombia on hold for now. Seems situation getting worse with the robbery and drugging. The robbery can happen to anybody. It might, if you're not doing, if you're not on the dating scene, and if you're not in on the apps and kind of stuff, but you're just out and about, just living life, yeah, and someone can pull up on you and rob you. It can happen. The likelihood, the chances of being robbed go down drastically, right? By you going to the clubs and talking to random girls, and two girls approaching the club, or you're on Tinder and girls start saying, "Hey, can I come over to my place?" Or, "Hey, I'm having a party at my place. Want to come over? My cousin will come pick you up." Now your chances go up to like 99.9% chance you're gonna get robbed, you're gonna get drugged. That if you're doing that stuff. If you're coming as a normal tourist and you just want to see the city, walk around, see the sights, get involved in activities, get involved in groups, you want to meet a girl, you want to do the way that I've always said to do, then your chances of being robbed and drugs go down. Robbed and drug going down from like 99.9% down to like maybe 10%, man. Especially if you blend in, if you look like a Colombian, if you can blend into the what people look like, you dress the part, goes down to 10%, bro. That's basically. All right, this is fun. Haven't done a live in a long time, but I'm actually enjoying it. Let me know if you guys are enjoying it. If you guys want me to do more lives, and also talking about the whole security here in Colombia, I plan to go do more videos in the streets. It's like my last couple of videos I did in the streets, and I try to put a little bit more thought in how I'm filming, the editing, that kind of stuff. Hopefully, you guys like it. But I'll show you guys how to move in the streets, and I'm out there filming, and most likely nothing's gonna happen to me, even though I'm with my camera, because I'm aware of my situation, my surroundings. Now that I'm filming, I have the camera out, now my chances go from like 10% being robbed to maybe, I would say 25%. Okay, maybe 30%. That's me, because I don't have a big camera. I don't have this big old whatever camera, DSL, whatever, and I'm always watching where I'm at. But it could happen. So when I'm in Mexico, oh, here's a good point. Jeez, I'm in Mexico, and we're filming probably one of the most dangerous areas in Mexico, right? A lot of cartel movement over there and stuff. And I just got an iPhone. It's new to me, but it's 11. Okay, but it's new to me. And I'm walking around with my iPhone out, no problem in the streets. And my spidey sense is not going off thinking at any moment someone's gonna pull up next to me and take my phone. One, because in Mexico, there's not very many people on motorcycles. There's not two guys riding around a motorcycle. When you're on a motorcycle, they can pull up on you super quick. They're mostly in cars. Those guys still can pull you up on you, but I think in Mexico right now, the economy is going so well. Like I used to live in Mexico 20 years ago. Back then, it was affordable. Now I'm in parts of Mexico that people don't really go for tourism, and a lunch still costs around $12 to $13 US dollars. It's almost the price of in the States. It's expensive. Okay. So people have iPhones in Mexico now. They have nice phones. They're not going to take your phone. Um, so the only real dangerous in Mexico is if you get on the wrong side of the cartel, then you're in trouble. Oh, geez. But here, over there, you don't have to worry about the people pulling up and taking your phone, and if you fight back, they're gonna stab you in the neck and you're gonna die. You know. All right. Thank you so much, Squishy Plums, for the super chat. Is it safe or not to walk around Colombia with gold teeth? Oh, jeez. Oh man. That might be a serious question, man. There's people who have gold teeth. You might have gold teeth. Uh, but I'm just now. I just now pictured in my mind people knocking out the teeth to take it because they're gold, man. Bro. First of all, it's not common for Colombians, even like thugs and gangsters here, or whatever you want to call them, the bad guys, and those duros, right? The barrio. It's not common for them to wear gold teeth. People don't wear gold teeth here, so you'll stick out like a sore thumb, right? Especially when they feel, and then when they realize it's gold, they may do something to get those teeth, man. Now your chances go from like 10% to maybe I don't know 30%. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that situation, but I know that people that walk around with gold chains, those chains have been ripped off. One guy got shot because he fought back. Now get his gold chain taken. Um, yeah, bro, I don't know. That'll be interesting if you do have gold teeth and you come down to Colombia, Medellin. Maybe make a video and talk about your experience. You know, I guess, but bro, I don't know. I'm sorry. Uh, let's see. Okay, Dafty9 stay saying it's safe to walk in Colombia with gold teeth. I wear gold chains every day, but I'm really scary looking. Yeah, I mean, you're just if you have a big gold chain out and you could hey, nothing could happen to you, right? You could be fine. But then that unlucky day when someone's riding a motorcycle by you and sees it, and then they happen to have a gun, and no matter how big and scary you are, they have a gun, and they're going to pull a gun on you and take the gold chain. There's been guys who were big and scary who've been robbed here in Colombia by little unscary guys. When I got robbed by gun, I'm 6 foot, 215 pounds or whatever. But when they robbed me, the guys were like, one dude was probably like 5'5", 5'6", probably like 115 pounds soaking wet. Like I think it was like probably 17 years old or whatever. The other dude was 5'10", but looked like a drug addict, real super skinny. I could have easily beat them both, but they still had a gun. So I gave them a motorcycle. So it's best. Again, even Colombians don't flaunt their stuff. I have friends who are Colombian who are super wealthy, probably wealthier than most people I know in the States, but they're not walking around with gold chains and diamonds and that kind of stuff. This country is not about flaunting, you know, unless you're like, I guess, part of the cartel and you can do that and nobody's gonna mess with you. But then again, that life, you end up dead most of the time anyways, right? All right, so Three Diglets, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Is Medellin really dangerous, or you just want all the HOs for yourself? No, I'm good. You can have them, man. Especially those kind of girls that do that kind of stuff. You can go for them. That's great. But hey, good for them too. They're trying to make a buck. But the bad girls who are trying to rob you and drug you, no, I don't want them either. No, if that's your thing, bro, go for it. But no, yeah. To be serious, on a serious note, it's dangerous if you don't understand the culture and you don't know what you're doing, and you get yourself in situations you shouldn't be getting yourself into. Prime example, in the States, I used to go, sometimes I would like, you know what, I just want to get a beer at a bar. So I would go to the bar by myself and drink a beer and pick up a conversation with the guy next to me or the person next to me at the bar. That's totally fine. In Colombia, you don't, and this is nighttime with music and stuff. In Colombia, especially in Medellin, you don't do that because here in Colombia, it's a very communal society, so people like spending time together. So they go out together in groups of like three or more people. So if you're by yourself at a bar, and I saw this one time, we were on La Setenta. I went out with my girlfriend, her friends. It was probably like seven of us, and I saw this one dude just sitting by himself, and I was like, that guy's a foreigner. Even though he could look like a Colombian, but I could tell he was a foreigner. And if I saw him and I could tell he's a foreigner, the bad people in that bar that are looking for opportunities to take advantage of victims saw him as well. And if that bad guy is there and he has his two girls with him, he's gonna tell those girls, "Hey, go talk to that guy. Go flirt with him." And then the next thing is the guy thinks, "Man, he's the shit. He's the big bad dude. I'm so good looking. These two girls are approaching me. Colombian girls are so easy. It must be true what all the YouTubers are saying. They approach him, they honeypot him, and then they drug him, and then that guy with other dudes go to the apartment, rob him, all that kind of stuff. So just it's dangerous if you don't know what's going on and you put yourself in that kind of situation. If you do know what's going on, then it's not that dangerous. It's I gotta say the level of danger goes down. There are parts of Colombia, and you said about Colombia, that there are parts of Colombia that are very dangerous where I don't recommend anybody going, especially like some parts of, for example, Choco. There's guerrilla movement right now. So if you're gonna pick a trip to Choco and go have an experience out there, you could get pulled up by a bunch of guys with military weapons. That's gonna, you know. So yeah. Southpaw Red Hook, thanks so much for the $5, man. Appreciate it. Just want to say thanks for the meeting Colombian families. I met my girl's family and went exactly how you said. Costeñas are awesome. Ha! I made a video about what to expect when you meet your partner's family if your partner is Colombian. So he checked that out and said pretty much everything I said happened. I'm not right all the time, but a lot of times I am. I'm playing. I'm playing. It's just me. I'm David. I love to observe culture. I love to see how things happen and then just make and before I started my channel, I would talk about this stuff to my friends and family, like, "Oh man, I can't believe that they do this way and this and that way." Now I just tell you guys. Let's see. Okay, Bertu is saying, "Bro, you have the typical American arrogance to think you are big and bad that they won't have time to take out the GPS from your bike and car, and you aren't tough, brother." If you're talking to me, yeah, when I said I'm big, I'm 6 foot, whatever, and all that kind of stuff, that's not me saying that, man, forget about it. They're not going to touch me because I'm big. No, I know the fact that if they have a gun or knife, there's problems. And as I get older, the less I think fighting is the solution. When I was younger, man, and there actually no, even when I was younger, I always try to like avoid fights. I had that in my head because you could get in a fist fight, get hit the wrong way, and your head hits the concrete, man, you're dead. You bleed in the brain, you're dead. I thought less about that when I was younger, but I still thought about that. But as I get older, it's even more so. So, especially when it's just about a stupid cell phone, take it, man. Take it. It's yours. What can you do? Who's shorter, Colombians or Mexicans? I don't know. I think it's about the same. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so we got Medellin Buzz. What's up, man? Thanks so much for the super chat. Happy early birthday. Mine's on the 3rd of January. Love the live. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. Capricorns. Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done it live. Yeah, I would say Mexicans are a little bit shorter. Damien said Mexicans are shorter. I hate to say it, but Mexicans are bigger. They're getting bigger than Colombia, but Colombians going down that path as well. I think, and I got fat in Mexico, and I was really trying to watch what I was eating, but unfortunately, in the job I'm doing, I'm not walking that much. We're not. I'm not able to walk as much as I would walk here, and the food has, I think it's higher calories, because they put a lot of stuff in the food. Um, yeah, I don't know what's up. Maybe it's the same thing in the States. Like the food affects me different in the States than it does here in Colombia. The Colombian food is a little bit more clean, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, those tacos get you all that grease and stuff, and then the carbs and the cheese, man. Jesus. Okay, let me go through the questions again. See if I can find something. 6 foot is short. Yeah, when I'm from the States, so I'm in the States, man. I'm average. Every time I go back to the States, I feel little. I'm like, oh my god, these people are huge. But out here, I'm kind of tall, and it feels good. All right, thank you so much for the super chat. $5. Adding no, adding no. When you first started traveling, did you have a free solo traveling? If so, how does one get over that fear? Tired waiting for friends to travel with? Man, that's a good question. That's a good question. And I think I made a video about that when I was in Brazil. I made a video on the beach talking about that. But yeah, I used to travel with my family. My mom is the reason why I started traveling. She took us when we were young to Spain. I think I was 17. That was the first international trip I ever did, and that blew my mind. That people live on the other side of the world. But because of that trip that I took to Spain, I was like, I want to get back. I want to get back to Europe. I want to see more. So after I graduated high school, actually, let me take that back. I wanted to learn Spanish first. So then I graduated high school and I went and lived in Mexico for 2 months. And my mom was giving me money, but then she said, "You know what? No, come back, help me in the business." She needed help at her insurance agency. Came back, but I wanted to learn Spanish so bad, so I saved my money up and I moved back to Monterrey, Mexico for a year on my own, solo. Um, and that kind of opened my eyes of living away from home, kind of doing my own thing, supporting myself, um, and learning Spanish. I learned Spanish within 3 to 6 months, right? 3 months basic and then 6 months fluent. But then answering your question, when I was 24, I was already working. I went back to work with my mom's agency, insurance agency. But I was dead, man. I hated working in the office. I hated sitting behind the desk all the time. All my friends never really want, like you said, waiting for friends to travel, that kind of stuff. Nobody wanted to travel. They wanted to go like to the Cancun trips, that kind of stuff, which that's not my cup of tea. And I wanted to go back to Spain. I wanted to go back to Europe that time. So I decided at 24, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a trip by myself. And I booked a trip to Madrid, and I did the return ticket too. So go and come back. But I did the 2 week typical American vacation, right? Americans mostly go on 1 week vacation. Back when I was young, back in those days, I'm not sure how it is now. So it's either 1 or 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is a lot, right? So I booked a 2 week vacation to Spain, and I went and I landed in Madrid, and I rented like an apartment hotel where I was staying by myself, and that was the first time I ever really travel alone. Just going. And I remember staying there and thinking, "Geez, man, did I make a mistake?" All by myself in the hotel. I went, walked around the city and stuff. I came back to the place by myself. Like I made a mistake. I feel kind of lonely. This and that. But I decided on the next city, which was Malaga, Spain. I was going to stay in a hostel, and I knew nothing about hostels at that time. All I knew was that movie Hostel, which I never saw, but I remember hearing about it, to where people would stay in hostels and they'll get like murdered, at nighttime, whatever, drugged and murdered. So that's all I knew about hostels, being from the States back in those days, man. It was 2007, 8. I don't remember what year it was. It was like 15 years ago. But I decided to stay, and that was the best decision because I stayed in a hostel in Malaga, and the people I was sharing a room with, there was like 3 guys from Australia and like a couple of other people from other parts. But those 3 guys made most impression on me. Uh, right away, you had friends. So the good thing about the hostel is right away you had 3 or 4 or 5 friends to go see the city with. So like you ask them, "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" And they say, "Oh, we're gonna go to this place, this place, and this place. Can I go with you?" They're like, "Yeah, come along." And now I'm seeing the city with other people, so I didn't feel lonely. But those guys, man, they had the biggest impression because they told me that they've been traveling for a year, nonstop, and when they ran low for money, they would stop somewhere and work. I was like, "What is this craziness? I never heard of this before." This was way many years ago, 15, 16 years ago. People from the States didn't do this kind of stuff. And when they told me that, I was like, holy crap, is that even possible? So what I did was I did finish out my 2 week American vacation, and I flew back to the States, back to Houston. And I remember I walked in my mom's room, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna go back to Europe. And she said, you just came from Europe. I'm like, yeah, I'm going back, but I'm going back to stay. And I bought a one-way ticket back to Europe, to Spain. And that one-way ticket ended up being a 6-month backpacking trip around Europe. And I lived in Prague for a month working, selling tickets to a pub crawl. Like those guys who, when you're walking in Europe, I'm not sure you guys been, but people approach us, hey, what you guys doing tonight? You guys, we got a pub crawl. You want to come? I was doing that in Prague, in the main square where that clock tower is and everything. Had a great time. I made good money because I was a good salesperson, bro. I got stories about those times in Prague. Um, Crazy. And then after that, I went to Poland, and then I went to Ukraine, spent a month and a half in Ukraine, in Lviv, 15, 16 years ago. I was only going to Lviv for 3 days. That was my plan. 'Cause my whole traveling plan was I would book a hostel for 3 days, and then if I liked the place, by the second day I would know, I would extend the time. If I didn't, I'll use that second day to look for my next destination, or talk to the people in the hostel. Hey, where are you guys coming from? Did you like it? And then I'll just go to that place where they came from. That's how I was traveling. I had no plans, no plans. And in Lviv, I decided to stay longer because I was walking around the city and I heard the salsa music, and I love salsa. Actually, when I was learning Spanish in Mexico, I took 2 classes: Spanish and salsa. Actually, 3: Spanish, salsa, and tango. I dropped out of the Spanish class because I wasn't learning Spanish very fast with the class, but I stayed in the salsa and tango for the year. So I heard the salsa music. I started following it, and it ended up being right in front of the theater. And there was a group of guys, a group of couples dancing salsa, like young people. And I was like, "What? They dance salsa in Ukraine? I didn't know that." And they were good. So after watching for a little bit, I approached them and I said, "Hey," I approached like the main guys, like, "Hey, what's this? What's going on here? Is this a group or something?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're a group. We do this, once a month, but we meet every Thursday at that place over there, whatever, like the salon or whatever." I was like, "Okay, can I come?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, show up on Thursday." I'm like, "Sweet." So my plan to stay for 3 days in Ukraine ended up being a month and a half. I found an apartment through one of the guys in the salsa group. He helped me go through an agency in Ukraine, and I found a Soviet apartment, right, an ex-Soviet apartment, and I was paying, I think it was like $150 a month. Um, it was something else, man. $150 a month, and I was dancing salsa. I made a girlfriend at the time in the salsa group, and I would go to the bread shop and get freshly baked bread, and then the meat shop, and I'll get like this nice sausage, like Ukrainian sausages, and cheese, and I'll make like this nice bread with sauce, like sandwich baguette, whatever it was. Oh, bro, I had a great time in Ukraine. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay longer because that's when the swine flu happened, the swine flu pandemic, and from one day to the next, the streets were empty, like from full to empty, and I had to get out of there before I got stuck in Ukraine. So I got out, and then my card got blocked for whatever reason from my bank. Back in those days, it wasn't used. The banks weren't used to Americans traveling like I was doing, like that. And they saw activity in Ukraine, like, "Oh, suspicious activity. Let's block the card." And I called them and I said, "Well, send me a new card." And they're like, "No worries, we sent you a new card to your house in Houston." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm in Ukraine." We can't send you a card to Ukraine." "Well, what can you do?" We can open up the ATM for a couple hours. You can pull as much money as you can. Like, okay. So I ended up running around the city in ATMs, pulling out as much money as I can. This is back in those days, and the amount of money you can pull out was very little. And then I booked the flight with the card that they opened up. The cheapest city to leave from was actually Prague again. So I booked a flight back to Houston from Prague, and I traveled from Ukraine to Budapest to Vienna and then back to Prague, just kind of get my last little trip in. And that was my 6 months traveling, man. But to answer your question, long answer, long story. Okay, I hope you liked my stories. But initially, it was scary, and initially I did feel like I made a mistake. but staying at hostels really helped. And if it wasn't for those meeting those Ukrainian, not Ukrainian guys, those Australian guys in Spain, I probably wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you guys right now, because after that, my life was different. And I believe everybody should do a solo trip at least once in their life like that. You know, it helps discover yourself. I discovered a lot about myself in those 6 months. You know, and this was back before Google Translate. This was back before um, smartphones. I literally don't know how I got around. Like for example, Lviv. Like there was hardly any foreigners at that time going there. You know, traveling. That wasn't in the backpacking scene, because there's a route that backpackers follow, and the Ukraine wasn't part of it really. It was like some outshoots during that time, but not very little. And many people didn't speak English. They spoke Ukrainian or German or Russian. I don't know how I did it, man. I still think about that to this day of how I was able to do that. You know, back before smart stuff. But anyways, let's get to the questions. And again, if you guys want me to see a question, super chat's the best way, and you might even get a story from me. Otherwise, I'll just look randomly, try to pick interesting questions. Is Los Llanos safe? I've never been to Los Llanos. My girlfriend went with her friends on a tour. Actually, they arrived to Villavicencio, and then from there went to agency, got tours around, like did the river rafting and stuff. So I would say if you go with the agency, it's safe. I don't know much about it to answer that question, like in general. But me personally, I would go by myself to check it out. But if you feel uncomfortable, then try to get an agency that does tours and stuff. Let's see. Anything new or exciting coming up for Life with David 2024? I got the part for the show. I go back on February 10th. Honestly, and this is between you guys and me and you guys. All right, it's between you guys and me. Don't tell nobody. I would prefer to do YouTube. I would prefer if I could get my channel to where it's making enough money to live a good life. You know, if I can make enough money on this channel as much they're paying me for the show, which I'm not getting paid what I should be getting paid. You know, because I didn't have an agent. And if any of you guys know an agent that specializes in that kind of stuff, put them in contact with me. I would love that. But if I could get my channel where it's getting enough views or some kind of support, whatever, I prefer doing this. But until then, I'm gonna go back and do the show in February. They want to book me until April. I'm taking a trip in between April 15th to May 15th to Europe with my girl. We're gonna travel around for a month, and then after that, I go right back to the show and film probably until July. So, a good part of the year is me filming for that show. Hopefully, they'll finish the series, man, because it's a documentary that's all honest, like true, no acting, no nothing. So we have to wait for things to happen, and unfortunately, they hope that season won't be done for December, but it's being pushed till July, man, because the things that they wanted to happen didn't happen, and it was a little bit more difficult to deal with Mexican bureaucracy than they had imagined, because they're from London and they don't understand Latin American bureaucracy here. Okay, it's taking a lot longer than they expected, but yeah, man, I enjoy this. I enjoy YouTube. I enjoy making videos with you guys. I enjoy like going for like what I did in downtown, just going and talking to people and filming it and interactions, that kind of stuff. And I think you guys enjoy it. Let me know. Actually, yeah, let me know in the comments. Like one if you like when I do talking heads where I'm talking about a theme topic to the video, when I'm making videos like that, or put a two when I just go out and make videos in the street where I'm just interacting with people and kind of like showing what life is like, or like what I did when I went to the cabin with my girlfriend. Because the topic video is like what I talked about, the dangers in Colombia, like the new way that they're kidnapping and stuff. That video hit huge, a lot of views. But then the other videos where I just went to like downtown and just kind of showed around and talked to people. One, if you like topic videos where I'm talking about topic, and two, if you like me going out in the streets and just having a goal, like I'm gonna go to this location, and from start until I get to that location, let's see what happens in between. You know, let me see what you guys say. We got 180 people, 144 likes too. Let's get the likes up, please. All right. So, and as you guys are putting the ones or twos, I'm gonna look at this super chat here. 1 second. Thank you so much, Andre, for the $2 super chat. Hey, options for learning conversational Spanish. First, watch my video. Look at the video I made talking about how I learned Spanish and how I would suggest for you to learn Spanish. I give all my tips, like a lot of tips. But basically, immerse yourself as much as you can. Even if you're in your country where nobody speaks Spanish, listen to music, watch movies, watch a TV show or a movie that you've watched before, you know, by heart and you love, and watch it on repeat. Put Spanish subtitles, Spanish words, and just immerse, immerse, immerse. Remember, babies learn by immersion. They don't understand, they don't even know what language is when they're born. But as they're immersing and they're absorbing all the information, they start understanding and generating words. So to me, that's the best way to learn. So we got twos. We got twos. We got three for both. I most likely will do both. Yeah. Two, two, two. Both. I like both. Two, show how safely travel, not just the scams. Good. Two, both. Once per month, do an info number one video. Okay. Both. That's a good advice, David. That's always how I learn languages. Do Colombians hate Mexicans? No, I don't think so. I prefer to mix two, but one is more informative, and I like the way you ruminate and come up with ideas as you talk. Yeah, I find myself more interesting too in those videos. Like when I have a topic to talk about, it is talk versus. I was actually watching some of my old videos today of one where I went to Popayan when I first arrived at Popayan, and actually changed the title to make it more intriguing because back then I think mm, I have a crap ton of videos. I have like I don't know, I think around 400 videos or plus. But I think what I did wrong in the beginning was my title game wasn't very good and my thumbnails were horrible. I think if I would have had better, and also my editing, I left a lot of parts where I could have cut, you know. And what I've learned is you need to cut the fat. Like a lot of stuff that just you kind of draw your attention away, you cut that out. So I think if I would have done it different that way from the beginning, my sub count would be a lot bigger and my views will be a lot bigger, especially the thumbnails. Because I see some guys, man, they put thumbnails that are very intriguing and draw the people in. But I think, in my opinion, I think I can do better. You know, I think I don't know, but the thumbnail, man, it's so I'm trying to improve that. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to test different thumbnails as well. So we'll see. First time I was scammed was Popayan. When I was in Popayan, again, I was watching that video, and actually, it was a nice video that I did in when I arrived. The other ones were decent, but when I arrived, it seemed like a safe city. But actually, one guy saved me from being robbed, and another guy threatened my life. You know, because I've had him on film. So I think there's a lot of I know there's a lot of indigenous groups there, and the indigenous groups tend to be kind of violent. You know, in some sections of here in Colombia and other parts of Latin America. Um, so yeah. But I met great people in Popayan. If you guys, again, if you watch that video, my hosts of the Airbnb were amazing people. You know, I haven't been to Pasto yet. My girlfriend wants me to take her to Pasto, but haven't been yet. Mm, let me see, man. We've been going for an hour and 23 minutes. Let me see if any other questions I see. Hey, Remy Trav. I saw your message on Instagram. I'll get to you when I get off this live. Let's see. Today I felt tired, so I stayed in. But I'm definitely want to do some more videos in the street. You can probably see my face. I'm tired. Let's see. I'm going back on the questions if I missed any. Are you Mexican American, David? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Um, I have family that are from Mexico, like my parents, my mom's family. She has uncles and aunts that live in Mexico, cousins in Mexico. But my family has been Texas since Texas was Spain. So it changed from Spain to Mexico to Texas and then to the United States. And we've been there for a long time. What started your career in YouTube? I already answered that question of the pandemic, and also YouTubers coming to Colombia and giving bad advice about stuff. And I thought, well, that's some horrible advice. Let me make a video, make a YouTube channel, and give better advice, in my opinion. Everyone has Harry saying everyone has limited time. Go travel, enjoy, be safe. Yeah, yeah. You only live once, right? What's that? There's a song that says that, right? You only live once. Do it. If you want to, if you feel like you want to travel, do it. But don't leave your common sense at home. Be safe. You know. Jakub is asking, what cities I visited in Poland? What was your experience? Greetings from Dax, Poland. I only visited Krakow, and in Krakow, I asked the hostel, "Where's a place close by I can go see? That would be nice." And they told me Zakopane, which is like a mountain village town. And that was during the summertime. So my thoughts on Krakow was beautiful city, man. The square, the massive square, the architecture, the people were super nice. I went when I think Bush was president, and I'm from Texas, and I think the Iraqi war was happening at that time, around that time. So I remember I was in a bar in Krakow, and someone asked me where I was from, and I'm not sure if he was Polish or from another country. I'm not sure, but I told him I'm from Texas. I looked at myself as an ambassador to Texas, right? Because I think most people around the world don't look very nicely on Texans for some reason. So I told him from Texas, and he literally almost wanted to fight me because of that, because of what was going on in the world, you know. But other than that, everything was great. People were super cool. The food was really nice. Zakopane was a beautiful mountain village where I went hiking, and I ended up having to come back down the mountain on my butt because I was going. There was like they have this hiking trail that you hike through the mountains, and you have to have cabins on the top mountain where you can spend the night. You pay like very cheap, and they have beds where you spend the night, and then you continue the hike and you circle around the mountain. You come back to the starting point. Well, I didn't know about that. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have hiking shoes. I was wearing tennis shoes. I didn't have any kind of big jackets or nothing. And I'm going hiking with these people from the hostel, and we're going, and then we go up the mountain, and then they come up to this one part of the mountain where it's like this trail that's probably about was 4 feet wide or so, and then a cliff, and there's people passing each other, and I'm like, holy crap! And I'm scared of heights, so I'm walking this trail, and then it goes around the corner and then goes up, and it was a steep up, and I was like, and people were walking normal because they're not scared of heights like me. I have like a phobia of heights, but it was still freaking scary. So I'm like plastered against the side of the mountain, like nervous as heck. And one guy notices me and says, "Are you scared?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm freaking scared." He said, "If you're scared here, you shouldn't continue." I said, "Why?" "Because it gets worse." And I said, "Tell me about it." And he said, "It gets steeper and the trail gets like this, and then there's one part where you're climbing a ladder, and you have to switch from the ladder to the next ladder, and you're like on the side of a cliff." And I said, "Yeah, no, I'm not." I'm good. I'm good. So I went back where I came from, and it was a steep hike up, and I was so freaking scared that I went back on my butt as people were like walking past me. I'm going down the mountain on my butt. It was, yeah. So that was my time in Sacopene, which was a beautiful, beautiful place. I recommend it. Just know what you're getting into when you're going that hike around the mountain, man. Yeah, that was my experience over there. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's one of my biggest fears, man, is heights. And I used to not be afraid of heights when I was a kid. I used to climb trees all the time. And growing up, the neighbor had a pear tree, and I used to climb up the tree to grab some pears. But then I had a really bad jet ski accident, and I think like psychologically, when you have something really bad happen to you, like physically, like an accident, your brain, the fear goes to something different. So I'm not afraid of jet skis, but I became afraid of heights. It's weird, but it's what happened. Natalie Alex, $2. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Biggest difference living in US versus Colombia. I actually went back to the US um, during my time in Mexico filming because we're filming right next to the border in San Diego. Like live in Tijuana, filming in another city in Mexicali. And what else? And I crossed the border. And one of the biggest differences, U.S. and Colombia, is the people, the amount of people in the streets. I crossed the border in a car, and you don't see anybody walking in the streets really. You don't see. There's not. Just to me, it just feels empty in the states, like people wise. And over here, I leave my apartment, and there's everywhere. There's people everywhere, you know. And if you really want to be around a lot of people, you just go to El Centro, and you're like that video I did, man. It was crazy. So that's one of the biggest difference, and I think, yeah, to me, that's the biggest difference is people in the streets and being able to not feel lonely or alone here. Because in the States, when I was living in the States, I felt very lonely, you know, because I would go out in the streets walking, but I'd be the only one. Or everybody would be kind of like in their own little world. Versus here in Colombia, people, they're what you call metiche or chismosos, right? They want to know about you, they want to know about your life, even just being gossipers, you know, but they're still, you know, talking to you, that kind of thing. Versus in the States, everybody's kind of in my experience, kind of kept to themselves, you know. So, all right. Thank you again, Natalie, for the super chat. Let's see. Have I ever stayed in a haunted place in Colombia? No. I went to a haunted house in Medellin for Halloween. It was pretty funny. Going back to month February, the sun. Yeah, you're going back in February to Cordoba. I love small towns. I love going out to small pueblos. I wouldn't live. You know, like on my video, I went to La Ceja. I wouldn't live in La Ceja, but I love visiting. Just getting away from the big city. Saludos, parce, Molina. Could you tell me a purchasing apartment in Belen or Laureles is cheaper than Sabaneta? Well, I don't know. Sabaneta is pretty cheap, like rent wise. I'm not sure about apartment price wise. They are building a lot right now, so there might be more supply than demand. So you probably can get a good deal. What I recommend is going on websites like fincaraiz.co, and then looking at prices of apartments, kind of get an idea of what things cost. That way, you won't be gringo price because one of the biggest gringo price you can get is in buying real estate. I mean, they'll double, triple the price on you, man, and you'll think it's a good deal because if you're coming from California, New York, or wherever, you know, like, oh man, I couldn't get that price of apartment or that size of apartment in California for this price. It must be a good deal. And then you're paying 2 or 3 times more expensive than the locals pay. And then what happens is it affects the local economy, the local prices. And now locals can't afford to live in the city. So do your research, find out what the prices are. Sabaneta, Belen, Laureles, you can easily look online. Finca Rice is a good place. Knowing that they're always going to they're putting the prices knowing for locals to see the price and buy the apartments, but they're always putting 20% higher than what the negotiated price is. That's just internationally known. But if you go directly with the agency or with the owner, they're gonna see you as a foreigner, like, oh yeah, the price is this. And then now you got to negotiate all the way down to low price versus do your own research and find out. That's my advice. That goes to the whole topic of gentrification. You know, I think I'm doing a good. The way I live doesn't give into the gentrification because even though I'm a foreigner coming here, I'm not. I know what the local prices are, and I pay local prices, and I don't let people take advantage of me. You know, just because I'm a foreigner. And the problem with what's happening is people come here, they don't do the research, and they get taken advantage of. And then locals say, "Well, crap, why would I sell to a local what I can sell to a foreigner for 2 or 3 times the what I would sell to a local?" And then and then Medellin becomes like Costa Rica, you know. Uh, how often do I get recognized in the street from YouTube? When I was constant with my content upload, it would pretty much be every day, at least 1 or 2 people when I would go out. Um, yeah, so almost every day, especially in Medellin. You know, I got recognized one time in Miami when I had a layover in Miami, and I got recognized in I forget another place in the states, but that's more uncommon. I don't get recognized in Mexico at all. Why not live in La Ceja? We pretty much have everything here, and I'm living Airbnb, selling my apartment. It's yeah, it's true. It's a nice place. You got everything there, everything, but just I don't like small towns. I like big cities, bigger cities. And Medellin for me is like the perfect size. It's not too big, and it's not too small. It's like perfect. What city in South America is most comparable to Medellin? In the cities that I know of, hard to say. Because the places I've been to, like you guys see me, I went to Brazil, I went to Mexico. In the past, before you two, I've been to other places. It's hard for me to find something like Medellin. It's weird. It's hard. Um, maybe can't answer that question, man. It's too hard. Maybe in the comments let us know what other people think, but for me, it's hard to find. Does Colombia completely shut down this time of the year? Christmas, like this open right now, but Christmas, like 24th, 25th, think a lot of things are closed. And then on the New Year's, a lot of things are closed as well. Also, people coming here, maybe it's changed because a lot more foreigners are traveling here. But when I arrived, New Year's Eve is not a thing here in Colombia. It is a thing, but it's a thing amongst family. So traveling out here for New Year's Eve and thinking they go to the clubs, there'll be a bunch of people popping champagne, having a great time, and counting down the clock, whatever. You're gonna be surprised because people spend New Year's Eve with their family, not at the club. Not like in the states. That's another big difference between Colombia and the states. Here is more of it's a lot of family culture. You know, they think they want to bring the New Year's in with the people they love the most. Let's see. What's your favorite television show in Colombia or YouTube? I don't really have television. I don't really watch television that much. There was this one show that was kind of funny that I watched a series, a Colombian series was it was about the guy who sold vehicles, a car salesman. He was from like the pueblo, or he was like a poor guy who would sell a lot of trinkets in the streets, and then he became a car salesman. And it was I forget what the show was called, but it was funny. It was hilarious. That was a good show. And then YouTube, I like watching people that make content like me, like going out and interacting with people around in other parts of the world. I like watching that kind of content. Hope and Glory saying, "Did I put you off from saying stay tuned on your videos?" That was back when I did no editing at all on my videos. I was just my edit was turn on and off the camera, so I literally would just upload everything I did, you know. But now with the editing, I just cut that stuff out and I stopped saying stay tuned because I know that now I know that you're just gonna be there when I start the edit again. I I'm not technically like really inclined, I guess. Growing up, I was, so I was like, it's almost like you're giving your grandpa a camera and saying, "Grandpa, go film." That was me. Oh man, what do you miss? What do I miss the most about the U.S.? Man, we're getting a lot of questions, guys. We're going 1 hour 40, and we got 166 likes, 163. We got more likes than people. That's good. I like that. What do I miss the most about the U.S.? Mm, just my family, I guess. My mom, my dad. Other than that, no, I don't miss the U.S. that much at all. I hardly think about the U.S. I don't think I'll ever live there again. It's not for me. When I first moved here, what I missed the most, besides my family, of course, was international food, like being able to go eat Vietnamese food or go and eat Arabic food or all kinds of international cuisines and good quality because they're actually the people in the kitchen were from that culture, right? That's what I used to miss, but now I don't miss that anymore. I don't crave that kind of food anymore. I'm happy with the menu of the day, here in Colombia. Yes, Neil, you hit the nail on the head. It must be hard for the TV show you're doing if you have to hang around for a long time waiting for something to happen, but always be ready to react whenever it does. Sounds very tiring. Yes, yes, it is. It's almost like being a fireman without having the 48 hours off. You gotta be ready. I think we work 6 days out of the week. Um, and if they call us and say, "Hey, this stuff's going on," we got to go. But legally, that we can't work 11 hours. We have to have 11 hours off after a shift. So if we finish like at 4 in the morning, we have to have 11 hours off to rest, and then they can work us again. So it's it's tiring, man. It is. And then I gotta be on all the time. So while I'm over there, I started drinking a lot of caffeine. I was drinking monsters, coffee, and I got addicted to caffeine over there again. Um, and when I'm here, I'm trying to get off that caffeine addiction. So it's tough. It is a tough job. It's rewarding. The experience is nice. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from the experience. But I, again, if I could do YouTube full time, I would choose that because I can choose where I live, what I do, where I go, who I'm with. You know, more choices. Let's see. Besides YouTube, what do you do for a living in Medellin? Um, Nothing. I'm doing that TV show, but before that, it was just YouTube, man. And I would do consultations. You guys wanted to ask questions directly to me, would do Zoom consults. Right now, I'm not doing that much because I'm just trying to rest right now. And I'm also trying to get as much content as possible for my channel. That way, when I go back to Mexico, I still have content coming out. But yeah, uh, you worked as a fireman? No, I did not work as a fireman. It's like being a fireman. The job I'm doing right now in the on the TV show, you gotta be on call at all times. So when you're on call as a fireman, you could be sleeping, and if the bell goes off, you gotta get up and go. I'll just use that as an example. And Brian saying, I agree. I only miss family and friends. Never want to live in the U.S. again, and I don't even miss the food there. I make my own Italian spaghetti sauce from scratch. There you go, man. Yeah. I mean, people. I remember when I made my video about why I left the United States and I probably will never go back. I got so much hate in the comment section from like, uh, I guess what you call. I'm a proud American. I'm proud where I'm from, where I'm born. I'm a proud Texan. I would say I'm a proud Texan. Um, okay, but there was those guys or people in the comments that I guess they don't travel that much and never been out of the States. They see the United States as the best place in the whole wide world, and they can't imagine why would anybody want to live outside the United States. And man, they weren't happy. But just what it is, man. Everybody has their own cup of tea, and you're born. You can't choose where you're born, but you can choose where you live. Let's see. Post some of the TV show on your channel when it airs. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to like do little clips, like take little clips of me filming and saying like what's gonna happen. I can post on Instagram or whatever. Hey guys, watch out for this episode coming up. It's gonna be really cool because this is gonna happen. Or we're here in this location. Make sure you tune in. I'm gonna try to do that. But I went last time for 6 weeks. The first time I went it was for 6 weeks. The second time I went it was for 6 weeks. This time I'm going, it's gonna be for 9 weeks. 6 weeks was hard. Let's see how 9 weeks is. And then when I go on the month trip, which is to me, that's a vacation, but it's not restful because we're gonna be traveling a lot. Right when I get back, they're gonna take me back for another 9 weeks. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, that's right. Yes. You always know zombie farts are the worst to say. You always know when you're doing something good when people start smashing you. It's true, man. It's true. I guess that like the expression says, when you got haters, you know you're doing something good. What's the TV show? I can't talk about it. I signed an NDA where I can't talk about it until it airs. Super top secret. Would I ever consider doing group tours in Colombia in the future? I could see myself doing that, but then the other thing is I don't like depending on other people. I mean, to do group tours, I have to hire a driver, I have to do this, do that, go on the tours. Everybody not always gonna be happy about the tour. Somebody could get injured. Things can happen, right? And I don't want to deal with that kind of headache. I'd rather just grow my channel, make money that way, and then it's just less headache. I must. There's a reason why I prefer playing sports, individual sports, like boxing or powerlifting or track, because I played football, American football. And the good thing about American football is you have your own individual assignment. You do that assignment well, you're good. But I didn't like playing basketball, for example, What's your ethnicity? I'm a Hispanic, Latino. Let's see. You're a smart dude, homie. Thanks, bro. Have I ever moved apartments in Medellin or always stayed in the same one? No, I've moved. I've stayed. I'm not sure how many apartments I lived in. Many, because I was staying in Airbnbs at the time. So I'm not even sure. Probably like 7 or so. I'm not sure. Guys, last questions. If you really want me to answer your question, it's super chat's the way to do it. This is gonna be the last question to answer because I'm already getting tired. You guys see my face? I'm getting tired. We're going for an hour and 50 minutes. I'll make it 2 hours. You look white, LO. I mean, there are white Latinos or Hispanics. That's one thing that I didn't like growing up in the States, man. Being Hispanic, I'm light skinned. So most Hispanics in Texas, for example, are from Mexico and they're dark skinned and dark eyes. I'm light skinned, light eyes. So I didn't speak Spanish. My parents didn't teach me Spanish. So then the whole identity crisis of what are you? You're not Hispanic. You're white. That's why when I went to Spain for the first time, I felt like I was coming home because there's people that look like me, in Spain. And also in Mexico, there are people. You look at novelas, the Spanish novelas, the Mexican soap operas. There's a lot of light skinned people with color eyes. So, yep, yeah, Mexicans with red hair. There's a reason why because there's during I forget what part of history, but a lot of Irish people moved to Mexico. And then that's why Canelo has red hair, right? He has Irish descendancy. But me, I have mostly Spanish descendancy, but from like way long time ago. And I think a little bit of Moroccan as well, possibly, because Spain was controlled by Arabics as well, the Moors. So that's why people say I look Arabic a little bit, or I look Israeli. Who knows? Okay, let's see. So let me see if any super chats came in. If you guys want me to answer your questions, super chat. Otherwise, I'll look really quick at any questions that stick out to me. Do a 23andMe and post? Nah. I saw an FBI guy on TikTok saying that he doesn't recommend that. You know, who knows? I don't know why he said that, but interesting. How much was my hat? I got it at in the States, in Houston, actually, when I was there visiting. I forget what the store called, but I don't remember how much it was. Probably $20. I don't remember. Nazik, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, I appreciate it. There was a question I saw that I want to try to find again and answer. Should newbies or solo greenhorns just steer clear of Colombia and altogether, or go to Aruba? I would say if you're first time traveling ever, I mean, you could come here to Medellin. People do. Just do the research, find out the tips. Like I have plenty of tips on my channel of how to stay safe and what not to do, what to do, and take that to heart and do that. But don't be coming here all scared, like, oh my God, someone's gonna kill me. No, just it's normal. Just understand the culture. But if you want to like ease into this kind of city, go maybe to Mexico. Go to I don't know, Mexico City or other parts of Mexico. Go to maybe even I would say Brazil. There's petty crime, there's theft in Brazil more than Mexico. Go to Buenos Aires, there's crime there as well. There's crime everywhere. So the main thing is just learn what you should and should not do, and don't leave your common sense at home. Let's see. I don't know. Were you linking with Austin or Floyd from Foreign? I don't know who they are. Uh, I heard there's a city Armenia. Yes, there's a city Armenia in Colombia. Um, I swear, sometimes I feel that Americans don't know anything about the world. It's getting better, man. It's getting better. Like I said, when I was younger, 20 years ago, 23 years ago, no Americans didn't really know much about the world. It wasn't common for Americans to travel outside of the States or outside of Mexico. It was people did it, but it wasn't that common. Now it's becoming more common. So things are getting better. All right, guys. So I'm looking at the question. You may have answered this question. When's the next time you will be in Texas? Not sure. Not sure. No plans anytime soon. We'll see, but not sure, Melvin. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the live. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Thank you for all the questions. And I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.